In my days, I've seen some pretty intense internet discourse over who the greatest Batman of all time is, but in my opinion, this is really only a debate if we're talking about the live-action Batman. Because as soon as you open the door to other mediums, the answer very quickly and easily becomes Kevin Conroy. Mr. Conroy's the greatest caped crusader of all time, and in truth, it's not even close. And I think Mask of the Phantasm is one of Conroy's best performances as this nuanced character. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is a rather short and simple story, but is perhaps the most emotionally charged Batman film of all time. And this movie would make Dominic Toretto proud because the central theme is family. You see, during their first meeting, Mr. Beaumont tells Bruce nothing's more important than family. But Batman doesn't have any family, which on one hand is why he's so lonely, but at the same time, it's a great strength that he utilizes. Since he has no family, he's able to throw caution to the wind and fight with nothing to lose, because nobody is waiting for him back at his mansion. But as we see in the scene following Bruce's talk with Mr. Beaumont, as our lead character attempts to stop some thugs from stealing something, he gets distracted and taken out by far inferior fighters, all because he looks back at Andrea and stops focusing on his combatants. And this causes a great inner struggle within Bruce as he tells himself, "I can't put myself on the line as long as there's someone waiting for me to come home." Bruce made a vow to his parents that he would avenge their deaths by keeping the city safe and attempting to rid Gotham of its villainy. But now that he's in love with Andrea, he is at a crossroads. Because putting his life on the line every night is fine and dandy when he's a single bachelor and has nothing to lose. But in loving Andrea, Bruce gives himself something to lose. And this love that Bruce has for her creates one of the only moments in Batman history where he considers quitting the vigilante life. In a sense, Andrea breaks her vow to Bruce because she knows that being with him will force Bruce to break his vow to his parents. The vow he made to keep the city safe and ensure as few people as possible have to lose their loved ones in the same manner as Bruce did. And as someone who has also lost both of her parents, Andrea understands the pain and the burden that this vow has put Bruce under. So she decides to unburden him of their vow to each other, which for a movie about a man dressing up like a bat to fight crime, is quite an emotionally rich plot. Now, spoiler alert for the next part, I suppose, but let's be real, if you clicked on a video essay about Mask of the Phantasm, you probably have already seen it, and if you haven't, then what are you doing with your life? Go watch it, it's fucking awesome, and it came out like way back in 1993. Anyways, Andrea being the Phantasm, the main villain of this film, is an incredible twist because her villain persona shows just how similar she is to Bruce, but also why they could never be together. The Phantasm mirrors Bruce so much that almost the entire city of Gotham mistakes her for Batman at first. The Phantasm uses shadows and smoke to sneak up on her villains, she appears to have a similar build to Batman, and she seeks to strike a similar sense of fear in her targets as Batman does. But the one key difference is that she kills people, and refers to herself as an angel of death. And this obviously flies in the face of Batman's oh so important no-kill rule. And this one difference that separates these two shows that though they're almost a perfect match for one another, they can never be because fundamentally they are simply different people with different outlooks on life. And this is such a tragic yet beautiful story to tell. While this film is in many ways a Batman origin story, thematically it also serves as an origin story for his loneliness and at times isolationist mindset. Now that I've gushed about the incredible central theme of the film, I do want to also talk about some of the aesthetics of this masterpiece as well. And I know that the animation is not necessarily out of this world, the film did come out in 1993 after all, but there are certain standout moments where you can really tell that the animators locked in. For example, when Batman is spying on Andrea, the shot of him in the rain as he looks into his binoculars looks so fucking good. I mean, just look at that, it's marvelous. And the transition here is also incredible. We see a glimpse of Andrea holding hands with this other man in the lens of Batman's binoculars, which beautifully fades into a flashback sequence of when Bruce was still dating Andrea. Even though visually Batman is looking at something in the present, his mind is still on the past. And just in general, I also love this movie's use of lighting and shadows. Now, this is definitely something that is also on full display throughout Batman the Animated Series and is influenced by the Tim Burton films, but just look at moments such as Bronski's death scene. As the Phantasm drops the tombstone on him, all you can see is his eyes and mouth as the darkness consumes everything else. This German expressionist type of style is just by far my favorite aesthetic for Batman. It feels like the most believable setting for Batman to exist in, and to highlight some of his best abilities in a visually interesting way. And as far as Batman origin stories go, this is one of the better ones, certainly the best Batman origin film in my opinion. I think the pain of losing Andrea being what truly sends Bruce on the unreversible path of becoming vengeance, becoming the Knight, becoming Batman, is both tragic and profound. And the moment where Bruce puts the cowl on for the first time is brilliant. We got a flashback scene earlier in the film where Bruce was talking to Alfred about how he needs to be able to strike fear in criminals. Because even though he was able to stop the thugs he was after while wearing his black ski mask, they laughed at him initially and had no fear of him. So he seeks to find a way to instill fear in Gotham's crime lords. And as he puts the cowl on for the first time, rather than seeing him in it right away, we only get Alfred's reaction to it, which is perfect. Through seeing Alfred in utter shock and appearing to be so frightened by Bruce in this moment, the film really establishes that Bruce's new look is exactly what he needed, and that from here on out, fear will be synonymous with the name Batman. Oh, also, the Joker is in this movie. And you know you're watching a masterpiece when the Joker, played by the greatest Joker of all time in Mark Hamill, is only the second best villain in the movie. But every scene with the Joker was an absolute pleasure to watch. Mark just does such a good job capturing the sick, twisted charisma of the clown prince of crime. And though he does play second fiddle to the Phantasm in this film, he's a great addition to what was already a phenomenal movie. Well, if you made it this far, please let me know if Mask of the Phantasm is also your favorite Batman film of all time. And if not, what is your favorite take on the Caped Crusader? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing for more Screen Stories content. Until next time, peace.